Ladies and gentlemen, we move now to our seventh inductee. It is Mr Tiz.
Dave, the power of the animal, and the crowd just applauded when they saw that Galaxy run. You must have been speechless after that one.
I'm a wee bit that way now, even looking at it after all these years, Des, it just sort of brings quite a lump in my throat, really. Yeah, he was the horse that could just do the impossible.
Well, he did the impossible that day, it seemed, and in Johnny Tapp, who's one of the greatest in the business, was making such wonderful plaudits after the race about Mr Tiz. But getting back to that race at Ellerslie, you know, I remember my late mate Phil Leishman said to me, he says, you better get down there and get an interview with Dave. And Dave, you've always been a wonderful talker. You've always discussed things very, very openly. That day when I put the microphone in front of you, I was lost for words, but you couldn't talk either.
Well, I feel a bit the same. No, we shouldn't have shown those films, Des. No, he would, yeah, it was that race and the Galaxy, I think, were his two greatest. And, you know, for him to get home in the railway, I think he had about 58.5 on his back. And it was a big span in weights in those days. I think the lowest was about 47. So it's a bit different to what it is now. And he was always capable of carrying big weights and winning.
He unfortunately passed away just a week or so ago. You could have actually, all the horses that you trained, all those wonderful Group 1 horses that you trained, I guess the invitation was there for some horses in the past to be buried at Wexford Stables. You saved it for Mr Tiz, and Mr Tiz is the only one, I believe, buried on the property.
He is. We've had an area that we built years and years ago, and was big enough, was quite large, and we lawned it out, and we've had Mr Tiz at home, I suppose, for 15 years, roughly, and been fed and looked after, and we always said, well, when the old fella goes, that's where we'll bury him. And so I got a digger in the other day, and we dug a huge hole, and so he could be laid out flat, and everything was done well. So that was the end of a great era, yes, but we're just unfortunate this dinner wasn't 8 days ago. He would have been a living legend then.
Well, he's still a legend, Dave. You stay there. Of course, an absolute legend. Hugh Fletcher, your father raced those beautiful tartan colours, so significant tartan colours, raced horse after horse after horse for many, many years, and he had some good ones, but then along came Mr Tiz.
Well, I think it's really the inspiration to all of us who are racehorse owners that, you know, it was 50 years from when he first started racing horses before he got a champion, and he must have raced several hundred horses before he got one. So it could happen to all of us. You just got to live long enough.